Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Trading Table. This is Andrew, joined with me is Landon, and today we're going to be looking at some of the biggest movers of the market, what to watch for tomorrow, and more. Looking at our heat map here for the S&P 500, we can see that we had a pretty quiet day. As you know, we're currently driving to Normandy right now. If you don't get that reference, and I don't know if you just don't know any history, but, normally preceding really big days or a really big week for the market, on the day when there's not a lot going on, the market tends to chop out and not do too much just because there's not really any buyers or sellers opening any new positions, preceding what we like to call storming the beaches. And if you don't get that reference, you'll see later in the video, we've got Apple reporting earnings, Tesla reporting earnings, Amazon, Microsoft reports tomorrow. We'll go over it later. But, yeah, the market is about to get super, super volatile. Can't tell you which direction it's going to go in because it's anyone's guess. But I do know that it's going to get super volatile. But looking at SPY's chart, right, we see a lot of chop. It looks like it kind of moved a lot, but it really didn't for, like, this level of VIX. You know what I mean? And it finished the day 0.06%. So that's really the value you should be looking at there. So it basically just did kind of chop all day. From its like lowest point to its highest point today, it was only 0.8%. And compare that to like the past days we've been having. I mean, look at this day right here, right? That's basically nothing. That's like baby numbers. You know what I mean? Like on this day, we had 1.86%, which is actually pretty crazy, a $10 gap. So yeah, super, super slow day today. We didn't even really have a lot going on. Personally, I'm not even trading this week just because of all the volatility, unless it's like a scalp setup that I really, really like and I'm really confident in. When the market's this volatile, it's hard for the market to kind of, keep a trend. It's very common that trends break quicker than normal. So, when you see like VIX values, maybe not at like 16, but when they get back up to around like 18, 19 as they were not too long ago, right? If we jump out to the month chart here, we can see that we were right at, that 19 area, this candle right here, the 19 area on the VIX on the 25th of July or last Thursday. So, we're definitely coming down, but I guarantee you we're going to be going back up because so many earnings this week of so many notable companies. But preceding earnings, right, we got Tesla kind of having a nice bull run up. Tesla's kind of just doesn't really, follow the market too much here. Not Tesla. But Apple. Apple is, has kind of had a nice run up. It kind of just followed SPY today. Super, super similar movement. Same with Microsoft, right? Maybe not as bullish there and not as high of a peak as SPY or, Apple, but it's going to start looking quite similar. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how these get, correlated together with all these companies reporting earnings. However they scheduled this, they just really like chaos. That's the best description I can give. Amazon also having quite similar days. It's going to start looking a lot, there's going to be a lot of similarities with these type of stocks. And I'm honestly really curious to see how we play out, right? If I had to take a wild guess, and this is like the furthest thing from advice, this is literally me telling you black or red at the roulette table. I believe it'll be bullish just because the market pulled back a bit. Obviously, that could not be the case. We could just, free fall out of the sky. But, if I had to take a guess, I'd say that most stocks are undervalued right now. SPY just got done pulling back. We could see a nice bullish move from most of these companies. We've had a quite an interesting quarter with, the U.S. economy, presidential election candidates, things like that. But I'm sure business has been good for them, especially for Microsoft, right? They report earnings tomorrow. And if you guys didn't know, they actually acquired OpenAI. Not all of it, a certain percent, but they acquired OpenAI. So, AI has just been, anytime you say AI in the market, boom, you just fly up. Them acquiring the biggest and most well-known kind of user AI or civilian use AI out there is a good look for them, definitely for this quarter. So it makes me pretty hopeful for their earnings and revenue. But jumping over to Landon now for some of our big money plays for today.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Not a whole lot of big money plays, as in, due to the fact mainly that we're, like you said, World War II this week. You know, not a lot of big money being put into stocks right now because, I guess big money is kind of just waiting to see how these big tech companies are gonna, kind of move with earnings and see how they did this quarter. But we actually do have one big money play, and it's for ticker symbol EL. And this one is a call option contract at a strike of 101 with an expiration of 8/16/2024 and a total premium account of 600K and a total volume of 1.63K. One noticeable thing about this is not a lot of time on these contracts. So if you guys want to play a little risky here, I like big money plays that are kind of a little further out, like 3 months, just because it allows you to leverage them a little better. But 8/16 is pretty soon. Wouldn't put all my money into this. It's not my favorite one. But if you guys are bullish on EL, then be my guest. But overall, not too much going on with big money plays. Just adding on to what Andrew was saying in terms of Microsoft. One noticeable thing that we also kind of like found is that Microsoft last time they reported earnings, were up like 9 points because of their cloud services. And when Google actually reported earnings like last week, they did really well with their cloud services. So that kind of just gives you an indication on how maybe Microsoft's cloud services has been like performing, just because they all tend to kind of like perform together as a sector when it comes to like specific technologies. So yeah, since Google's cloud did good, um, we could more than likely see Microsoft's um, kind of also be earnings be affected by a positive cloud um, impact. If that makes sense. But other than that, back to you, Andrew.
Yeah, Landon, when you see someone else in the sector kind of do good with cloud services, it's definitely a good indication that, you know, that this company can also do well due to just the industry as a whole having, kind of a nice run in the cloud sector, right? Obviously, Microsoft isn't only cloud, right? AI, operating system, you name it with them. But definitely hopeful for Microsoft here. I want to see the market go back bullish. I mean, in my opinion, I'm a huge bull. Love seeing the long-term account fire. It's just great. In my opinion, this might sound a little bit stupid, but it is a little bit easier to trade, bullish, sentiment type of plays. I don't know. It's easier on my eyes for some reason. But we're gonna go ahead and take a look at our earnings for the rest of the week real quick. So today, before open, we had McDonald's report. They had a bad earnings report, but their price is up. This is just to show you literally how playing earnings is gambling. Bad earnings, price is up, makes no sense, right? That could just be because they're undervalued though, and they didn't miss by much. But nevertheless, after close, not a whole lot going on for today, right? Definitely not a lot going on today. I know there was a big money play for On Semiconductor a long, long time ago, maybe like a month and a half. But, if you're playing that, I'm sure you knew On was reporting earnings. Tomorrow before open, not a whole lot going on, but there's still some companies that, are quite notable. Procter & Gamble, Pfizer, that could affect the health sector a little bit. PayPal, BP also reporting. We've got a lot of oil stocks this week for all of you oil traders. Keep an eye on that. SoFi also reporting. JetBlue, favorite airline out there. Let's go JetBlue. All right. After close, though, here's where we pull up to the beach, right? They're dropping the doors, and we're storming, right? This is where we start storming. The battle kind of ends after close. Well, not really. Friday. The battle will end on Friday, but starting Tuesday after close, we've got the beginning. Microsoft reporting, AMD reporting, Starbucks reporting, just some notable companies, but I'm really watching Microsoft. I don't really care about AMD or Starbucks. because AMD and Starbucks are not moving the market the same way Microsoft is, right? So, last quarter, they did have good EPS or earnings per share, and they did have good revenue. That could be the case for this quarter. That could not be the case for this quarter. As you saw with McDonald's, they had not a great earnings report, and they still went up. So it doesn't really, there's just too much that goes into it to try and predict earnings. It's not worth it. Definitely don't play earnings if you have the choice. If you don't have the choice, and you absolutely must, I wish you the best of luck, pal. Yeah. But, I'll go over what's going on tomorrow just because there's so much here. But we're going to go ahead and look at our economic calendar for tomorrow real quick. So for Tuesday, right, we've got at 10 a.m. CB consumer confidence and JOLTS job openings. CB consumer confidence doesn't really do too much to the market unless the number comes in, noticeably different from the forecast. But JOLTS job openings sometimes does affect the market, especially if there's not a lot of job openings. It will impact the market negatively. Obviously, we want jobs. Jobs are good for the economy. But, just keep an eye on this at 10 a.m. If you do kind of trade it, you could see like a super big red candle and then a super big green candle. It just brings like a little bit of volatility. It doesn't really send the market in a direction like, PCE data or CPI data does. But yeah, still something to watch for tomorrow. Just pay attention to that at 10 a.m. And then we're clear for the rest of the day until we start storming Normandy after close tomorrow. That's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the Trading Table. This has been Andrew Landon. Please be sure to check out our free Discord. Link is in description. And we'll see you guys tomorrow at market close.